Evening, how are we doing? I'm skeptical whether this is going to work or not because the signal here is so bad with no Wi-Fi. So I'm running off my phone, and some of you will know I've not had the best experience with my phone and reception. So we'll see if this is going to happen. But yeah, coming to you a little earlier this evening because we are going out later out. We are at the Treehouse this evening for the next few nights, and we're going out for dinner tonight at Nick Nair's restaurant. It's got Absolute Culture doing like a special evening with him. So we're going there tonight for dinner. So coming at you a bit earlier. And it is absolutely chucking it down. I had a memory come up, and it was me in Edinburgh last year wearing my shorts. So it was hot this time last year. This year it's freezing, the fire's on, so that clicking noise is a fire because it's so cold. But yeah, so that's why I'm coming to you live tonight. So it feels a bit weird for me. It feels like a bit of Friday night, but it's Thursday. Anyhow, fear is holding you back. So you haven't seen my post that I just done. I'm talking about like the things that keep us stuck. The fear of not wanting to say no to people, the fear of not wanting to try something in case you fail at it, the fear of confrontation if you say no, the fear of, well, if I don't do it, no one else is going to do it or look after that person or do whatever that thing is. And also the fear of, oh, what will they think of me? Will they think I'm rubbish at my job? Will they think I'm rubbish at life or not holding it together if I say no? And then it builds up in our head, and then that fear of, oh, I knew it. I knew I wasn't good enough. I'm not good enough to be able to take this stuff on and do all this stuff and cope with it. And people are going to think I'm rubbish at my job, or I'm not good at looking after my family, or my rubbish daughter, sister, whatever it may be. So all those different fears that you've got going on are the things that are holding you back. And I was thinking, well, how do you overcome that? How have I overcome many of my fears? And it is that thing about facing into your fear. As much as you might not want to, as uncomfortable as it is, you do have to be brave and face into fear. And I'm not talking about like sudden, great, massive change where you're going to end up burning out, stressed, anxiety that you're already experiencing go through the roof because you're pushing and forcing against everything. But what I'm talking about is the smallest change. And when I think about my journey, from when I was size 18 plus to where I am now, everything I've done with my health, my fitness, my career, my business. And it all started by making that decision of going to the gym and training. That's where it all started. And I think it's a fundamental, and I see this and recognize this in my clients too, depending on where they are in their journey. That fundamentally everyone starts with training. And the reason you start with training is because it's quite societal acceptable, right? It's acceptable that you go work out to lose weight, to improve your health, to move your body a bit more. If it's physio, whatever it might be, it's basically ultimately about moving your body. And I think what comes when you start moving your body is you start to feel better about yourself. You get feel good release of hormones, that thing that you've gone and done something for yourself. And when you feel like you've done a workout, you feel better because then you're like, I've done something for me, I've moved my body, and you start to release the feel good hormones, as I mentioned, but also because you've made that commitment to yourself and you kept it. So it's really key that you keep commitments to yourself, because otherwise you're lying to yourself and you're letting yourself down all the time. You worry about saying no to other people, what will people think of me? But what about how you think of yourself? And I can imagine that's probably not very good because you keep breaking your promises to yourself. That thing you said you were going to do, you've not done it because you said yes to someone else, which has meant you said no to yourself. So what you end up doing is then putting all your time and energy into other people. You're not even on your list. And then that cycle just happens. And then you're in that crazy pattern of just feeling rubbish about yourself. Then you might get a little dopamine hit because you've done something for, say, Isla. And Isla's been like, hey, that's really great. Thanks so much for doing that thing for me. And you get a little hit. So you feel good for a little while. But then you come back to it and it's you living in your body and you're not feeling great about yourself. And you just get stuck in the fear of saying no, the fear of saying yes to yourself in case you can't do that thing, or you feel it, or you have to say, oh, it didn't work out, or whatever it was, or I quit, or whatever goes on in your head, right? So it's that whole thing going, right, how do we step out of that place? So by making the commitment to go, right, okay, if you're starting on training, start 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be a big commitment, 30 to 45 minutes. Choose the workout you're going to do. Ideally, something you enjoy. If you don't know what that is, try a mixture of things. What do you used to like before life took over? Do you used to like dancing, cycling? Maybe some people like running. Not for me, but some people like it. So it's really about what was that thing that you used to do that you enjoyed. And then how can you get back to that thing? Now, I'm not saying if your health is in a completely different place from when you used to run, for example, because this happens to many clients who come to me, then it's obviously building back up to that rather than going and killing yourself. So it could be like this 0, the couch to 5K piece, starting working on that. So your first step is downloading the app. Okay, then it's committing, right, how many run walks am I going to go on next week? 3 times, what does that look like? So start thinking about then what happens is you've got a plan. You put the time commitment in, you block out your diary, you're going to do that thing, you choose what you're going to wear, you got your trainers, you know what you need to do. So when that day comes, that commitment's made to you. You go and do that run, you go and do that workout, whatever it may be. You go onto your, it might be an online class, whatever it may be, you make that commitment, you go and do that thing. And then what happens as a result of that is, hey, I feel quite good about myself. I enjoyed that. So you let people know, by the way, I'm not available at this time because I'll be working out or I'll be training. Or you don't have to tell them. You can just say, you just say, no, I'm not available at that time. Don't have to give a reason. But the point is you start doing something for yourself. And when you start doing something for yourself, that's when you start to get momentum. Okay, so you start to feel a bit more confident. You feel better in your body. Your mood's a bit better. And then enough, or I'm not going to put that in my body. It's going to make my training session harder. So I want to get a bit healthier. And you see how that momentum builds. And within that comes confidence and prioritization for yourself. So you start to go, actually, if I say yes to that thing, I'm not going to go in my training session. I don't really want to do my training session. So you say no to that because then you've got that firm boundaries, especially for us women who don't have kids, because in a lot of corporate there, she didn't have kids, she can come in the office on a Friday. She didn't have kids, and so you really have to watch out for that piece. Just because you don't have kids, or it might be that your kids have moved out, whatever it may be, you have a firm boundary of your training. I need to finish work at this time because I've got a class book. I need to finish work this time because I've got an appointment book. Doesn't matter what it is, you set those firm boundaries. And when you feel the benefits of doing training, you feel the effects of not doing it more. So you're like, shit, I really feel crappy today. I'm not feeling great about myself. I'm really annoyed. I missed my training session. I let it go. I got too busy. That's what helps bring you back. And with the more training you do, and again, I'm not talking about killing yourself, nutrition choices, and then you show up for yourself nutritionally, and you go hand in hand, and you start to feel better about yourself. You start to feel more confident, and you'll start to believe in yourself more, and also set boundaries, because you start to respect your time and energy. You realize that actually you need to respect your time to turn up and show up for yourself in the ways that make you a healthier life. And if you're happier and healthier, then the people you do want to give out to, then you're there for them in a better way, rather than maybe be there a bit grumpy, a bit fed up, or being there like smiling and laughing but not really being present because you're knackered and you're fed up and you're beating yourself up. All those things. But at the start of it all is fear. Fear is the thing that stops you to take those small steps that I just mentioned. And that will kick off the momentum. Now, that's not to say that you're going to go straight on. Oh yeah, Julia started my training. That's been me. I've changed my life like what you did. No, it doesn't mean it's not that straightforward. It's not that easy. There's times you'll fall off, and when you're specifically looking at boundaries and setting boundaries, it's tough. It's tough going. Like there's triggers there all along. Triggers about, am I a good person? Am I not? I said no to that person. So there's triggers all the way along that will eat into your fears around why it's selfish to do your training, or selfish, or you're a bad person for saying no, or oh no, I made someone feel rejected. I know how that feels. All those things will come up all the time when you start putting yourself first. But it's like anything, it's doing my training for me. It doesn't matter. We can do that thing another time. The grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But you know what does matter is your health. Your health matters, because nothing is going to ever bring back that health. Where you are right now and your health and your fitness, it's like you're never going to be this age again. You're never going to get this time back, but you do have an opportunity to improve your health and fitness and do that before it goes to a point that is really hard to come back from. And again, that's not me trying to establish fear in you. That's just the truth around what happens. We have one body, we have one mind, and we need to look after them. So as soon as you start to make momentum by booking in your training, start small steps, you will build that momentum, and it leads to all the other actions. And then you become healthier, happier, more confident in yourself, and you start to go, do you know what? I am worth it. I'm worth the time. I'm worth the energy spending on me. Julie was right. Come back to me and say, Julie was right. All right, team. So a bit of a mindset on there this evening, but I just think it's super important because I think so many females out there are stuck, and I see when clients come to work with me are stuck on that kind of selfish, how can I fit in everything, especially us females with family commitments, not wanting to let people down, the societal expectations on us. But it's super important that you put yourself first and look after your health. And like I say, the first step is your training. And I promise you, you start in the training, the rest will come in time, and the boundary setting, and those things will come too. It'll be uncomfortable, of course, but you know what's the opposite? You keep living in fear, you keep living stressed out, miserable, your health decreases, you put more and more weight on, you get more and more unhappy with yourself. That's not a good place to be. We've got one shot at this life. So let's start to step out of the fear, step up for ourselves because you are worth it. All right. Thank you, team. Enjoy your